Miami Dolphins are in a drought. They haven't been to the playoffs since 2016. They haven't won a playoff game since 2000. Since the dawn of the millennium, they're on their 11th coach in Mike McDaniel and their 12th quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa. With McDaniel installing Tua's third offense in his third season, plus the big-time acquisitions of Tyreek Hill and Teron Armstead, the pressure is on. The time is now for Tua to prove that he is the Dolphins franchise quarterback and that he can capture that elusive playoff victory. He's 13-8 over his first two seasons. His completion percentage, yards, touchdowns, yards per attempt, and QB rating each climbed after his rookie season, yet he remains one of the most polarizing young players in the league, and outside of Miami, one of the most publicly criticized. There are areas he's good, and there are areas he's bad. McDaniel will devise and construct an offense built around those strengths, but he'll desperately need Tua to improve on his weaknesses if what's likely his make-or-break season is to be successful. Before we check out what McDaniel will have to build this new-look offense around, I first want to give a huge thank you to this week's sponsor, a new one, ZBiotics. ZBiotics is a company that saw the millions of Americans, especially us football fans who enjoy a couple of adult beverages here and there, and decided to help us out. ZBiotics pre-alcohol probiotic is something you drink before you start drinking, and it knocks out that nasty day-after feeling that destroys you the next day. PhD scientists invented it knowing the real problem that causes that crappy day-after feeling isn't dehydration, but the toxic byproducts found in alcohol, and ZBiotics pre-alcohol probiotic is the only product that breaks it down. Last weekend, I was worried about going a little too hard watching the Warriors-Grizzlies series and being half asleep during Mother's Day, but ZBiotics made me forget that I had drank, and Mother's Day was awesome. To get 15% off your first order of ZBiotics pre-alcohol probiotic, all you gotta do is click the link in the description box and use my code Rollins at checkout. That's zbiotics.com/Rollins to get 15% off on your first order. Alright, so let's start things off with Tua's strengths, and those without a doubt begin with his ability to operate within structure. He is a system quarterback through and through, which isn't a bad thing. That just means he relies on winning from the pocket and operating with impeccable timing within the structure of the play, since concepts are designed so receivers come open in sync with the quarterback's footwork, and that's the very foundation of his game. He has below-average arm strength, so playing with great timing and using great anticipation to throw before the receiver comes out of his break have to be his greatest strengths, and they are. Here he gets a zone coverage tell with the cornerback outside on tight end Mike Gesicki, and he knows close to the low red zone the Panthers love to play this kind of combo match coverage on the two receivers. Tua assumes the linebacker will follow Myles Gaskin to the flat, which leaves this kind of in-out coverage from the corner and safety. The Fins are running this corner sit concept, literally the entire NFL runs, which is mainly designed to get Gesicki open on a corner route with the safety playing inside leverage, but Tua knows if he plays within structure and anticipates on time, these combo match coverages have a little bit of room underneath while the defense is figuring out who has who. With Jermaine Carter flying back at the snap to help double either Gesicki or Waddle, Tua has to play precisely on time. The moment his back foot hits and Waddle begins to sit down, he fires this thing in there through an exceptionally tight window. His ability to use his eyes to manipulate defenders can affect many different aspects of the play, since like here, when the Panthers have Brian Burns sit underneath to try and swat the ball, Tua uses his eyes to make sure the linebacker follows the back to the flat, which also influences Burns to the left, opening this narrow-ass window for the touchdown. This leads us to his ability to anticipate in the play-action game, a Mike McDaniel offense special. Tua led the NFL in play-action percentage, using it 43% of the time, and the McDaniel-Shanahan offense has long utilized the play pass and play-action as a cornerstone of their scheme. A classic play-action concept we'll see the Dolphins run over and over is McDaniel's burner concept, which is an iteration of a 3-level sail. It's designed to attack 3 levels of the defense and stretch out defenders to one side of the field, and the key to an effective burner concept is a quarterback who can weaponize all 3 receivers. Usually this defender is being stretched out trying to decide whether to guard the underneath guy or the intermediate guy, but I think he blows his deep quarters assignment because Tua uses his eyes to make him sit for the flat. This gives the pylon route leverage on the safety, and look when Tua releases this ball anticipation-wise, and then where he puts it accuracy-wise, 40 yards on a dime. It was a common theme, teams not respecting Tua's ability to bomb the ball deep, despite the fact on throws of 20-plus yards he led the NFL in yards per attempt and his completion percentage was second highest. But in all reality, that success likely came from defenses daring him to throw deep, seeing as that he had the second lowest deep ball attempt percentage at just 7.5, which led to a lot of the areas where he struggled. Defenses consistently did not give a damn about guys running down the field and felt super comfortable playing underneath, even one-on-one, and invited Devontae Parker or Jalen Waddle to beat him deep, knowing Tua's just not that guy to throw it over your head again and again. Without repeatedly threatening the deeper areas of the field, it's challenging for any quarterback to operate almost exclusively underneath, and without that aspect of the game unlocked, it'll severely limit the Dolphins' offense. Defenses trapping the underneath stuff was especially evident on third down, where Tua's 81.5 quarterback rating was far below average, down in the Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Davis Mills territory. On 3rd and 10, the Titans are trying to trick him into making a mistake by playing trap coverage, where they want him to think this out route is wide open since the linebacker is tucked so far inside of Gesicki. But in trap, if the slot receiver runs a short outbreaking route at a certain depth game planned by the defense, the corner traps the route and the safety becomes responsible for the vertical. Tua gets all set, ready to throw the out to pick up some yak for the first, but when the corner sits, it's now time to reset to the fade settling into the hole, but there's a little hesitation and the Dolphins got a punt. These third down struggles also illuminate another issue, his intermediate accuracy. We'll define that as throws of 10 to 19 yards, which is where true arm strength comes in, and an area of the field where a quarterback with Tua's playstyle needs to master. When your first read isn't open and you need to reset to throw somewhere else, arm strength is critical since you might not have your footwork perfect and your momentum moving forward, and you need those if you have below average arm strength. Tua gets a man coverage tell with Waddle motioning across and the corner following, so he knows everybody's one-on-one, but the Giants surprise him at the snap. This play is designed to go to Waddle, but the Giants use an in-out bracket on him, which takes away Tua's first read, but opens up his second, the bender, which he flat out misses. Yes, I said his ability to play within structure is a strength, and it is, but due to his arm strength limitations, he needs to play perfect on every single snap. Every single time footwork-wise, reading the concept-wise, mentally, all of it, and he is not perfect. He has to make the right decision every time to succeed, because he wants to almost exclusively operate in this underneath to intermediate area of the field where everything is more condensed. If he can't master every part of the game, he's gonna struggle, especially when he doesn't play within the structure of the concept. The Saints are showing a one-high safety coverage and an all-out blitz with 7 defenders up on the line, and Tua has this dagger concept which should be able to beat whatever the Saints are playing, and this little sit route underneath from Gesicki. At the snap, the Saints roll into Tampa 2 zone with Pete Werner playing the deep middle area of the field, and what you need to know about Tampa 2 is that dagger concepts absolutely rip it up. Mac Hollins converts his route more up the middle to attack the split safety coverage, and with Werner matching him deep, the dagger route is about to come wide open. However, the pressure closes in and Tua has to step up, then sails the ball way over Hollins' head and the wide open Waddle, and the Saints pick it off. Tua does a good job stepping up away from pressure, but if he is going to throw the deep through route to Hollins, it needs to be now or never. You can see Hollins even begins to flatten off his route since here he knows the later in the down, the less open he'll become. So instead of the concept mastery Tua must display to win here, he shows that sometimes he's far from it. For a guy who wants to play in this conservative, underneath, spread the ball around type of offense, he turns the ball over way too often, he was tied for the 12th highest interception rate, and he fumbles the ball a ton, 11th most for guys he played 200 snaps less than. Until he proves he can push the ball deep consistently and beat guys deep consistently, defenses will continue to condense, constrict everything underneath, and make him work that much harder to play perfect on these shorter passes. He needs to absolutely master Mike McDaniel's system, but the problem with that, system quarterbacks like Tua need time to master one system and practice and grow in it over multiple years. Instead of learning and developing in just one system, Tua's on his third in 3 years and has to basically hit the ground running in what could very possibly be his make-or-break season. You can say what you want about the Dolphins' offensive coaching staff last year, but an NFL staff is an NFL staff, and they basically babied him with RPOs, the highest play-action rate in the league, frequent wildcat packages, and their backup Jacoby Brissett often coming in to operate third and short. Due to Tua's physical limitations, he needs to play within the system perfectly, and he hasn't proven he can. Yes, Tyreek Hill helps without a doubt, but I don't believe we'll see a suddenly explosive deep passing game even with him, and I don't think Tua can consistently dissect defenses from 0 to 20 yards for him to fully be successful. It might sound harsh, and I have nothing personal against him, but I believe this will be his last season as the Dolphins starting quarterback, and that they might make the playoffs, but don't have what it takes to win a game. I've been wrong before, and Tua does have a top 5 group of weapons, a new coach, and is no longer a young pup in the league. Does he have what it takes to prove me wrong? We'll have our answer at the end of Season 3.